Hi, I'm Quint. Okay, let's get started with beginner's lesson number 2. I'm going to assume that you don't know anything about music or about drum music in particular. So first we have what we call a staff. 5 lines and 4 spaces. This is what we write drum music on. And this section here is called a measure. Measures are divided with these vertical bars or vertical lines. They call them bars. So we have a staff, we have a measure. Now, you're going to ask yourself almost immediately, how do you know which instrument to play? How do you know which cymbal to hit, which drum to play? Well, drums, unlike other instruments, every piece is a separate instrument. So in order to know what instrument to play, they have placed the notes on individual lines and spaces, so that if the note is placed on the top line, let's say, then we know it's our hi-hat. If it's placed above the top line, in the space above the top line, it's the ride cymbal. If it's the space below the top line, it's the small tom-tom. The next line would be the medium tom. The next space would be the snare. Next line, large tom. Next space, floor tom. Bottom space, bass drum. Below the bottom space, hi-hat, foot. There are more cymbals for various instruments, such as the bell on your ride cymbal, or your cowbell, or crash cymbals, ride cymbal, but this will suffice for now. You can get along quite well with this. And at the beginning, usually of every book of music, there is a legend indicating what cymbals are for what instruments. Sometimes, these are not written in stone, sometimes they will have the ride cymbal and the hi-hats reversed, where the ride cymbal is the top line and the hi-hats are in the space above the top line. But generally the notation does not change. It's pretty standard. Okay, so let's take a look at notes. Whole note is just an oval, and half note would be the oval with a stem. It takes 2 half notes to make a whole note. Think of it like money, like a dollar bill and 2 half dollars. When you have a quarter note, it's filled with a stem. 2 quarter notes to make a half note, 2 quarters to make a half a dollar, and 2 half notes to make a whole note, so it takes 4 quarter notes to make a whole note. Then you have an 8th note with 1 flag, 2 8 notes to make a quarter note. It takes 8 8 notes to make a whole note. Then you have 16th note with 2 flags, 2 16th notes to make an 8th note, and 16 to make a whole note. Then you have a 32nd note with 3 flags. It'll take 32 to make a whole note. 2 32nds make a 16, 2 16ths makes an 8, 2 8s make a quarter, 2 quarters make a half, and 2 halves make a whole. Each note has a corresponding rest. A whole rest, a half rest, quarter rest, 8th rest, 16th rest, and a 32nd rest. The rest simply means that you do not play the note. So it's quite simple. You'll also see them written this way. they will take the little flags and connect them, making a line. So you have 8th notes with 1 line, 16th notes with 2 lines, 32nd notes with 3 lines. Same value, just written differently. I like to think of these notes in terms of a time value, of a length of time. Whereas, say another instrument, a melodic instrument, you would hold that note for a length of time. Well, in drums, you would simply strike it, and it would be that distance until the next note is played. So you have a whole note last twice as long as a half note, and so on and so forth. It'll become clearer when we get into actual beats themselves. But for now, let's go on here to repeat signs. If you're playing along and you come to a set of dots like this, you simply go back through the prior set of dots and play all of that again. If you come to a sign like this, a horizontal sign with 2 dots, it means to play or repeat the measure before it. Sometimes you will have 2 horizontal lines with a number above it. It could be 2 or 3. It means play the previous 2 or 3 measures. Here's another type of repeat sign. It's, let's say, a quarter note with a hash, 1 hash line. It just means you play it twice. Sometimes there's 2. And so on. These are repeat signs. Have time limitations here, so we'll cut this one short and we'll continue on beginner's lesson number 3. Don't forget to tune in to freedrumlessonsvideos.com. Thanks.